Hello, and we have some blazing news for you guys. First of all, a crypto exchange was hacked. A pretty big one at that. Don't be too afraid though, it's probably not the exchange you're using. It was indeed Indodax, and that is one of the biggest exchanges in the Indonesian region. So if you're in the Indonesian region, you should be afraid. But if you're not in the Indonesian region, you should not actually be afraid. So there was 150 suspicious transactions that drained over $22 million from reserves. This is from Slowmist. Blockchain security firm Slowmist is reporting that an Indonesian crypto exchange was hacked for over $22 million in digital assets. Slowmist says that crypto exchange Indodax saw its hot wallets exploited across multiple blockchains, including Bitcoin, Tron, Ethereum, and Ethereum Layer 2 Polygon, and Optimism. So Pol and Optimism were also stolen. If there is kind of a breakdown of the stolen funds, we can actually look at it here. As you can see, most of it was Bitcoin. Well, 1.425 million was Bitcoin. There was 2 million in Tron, 2.4 million. A lot of it was Ethereum. 14 million was Ethereum, but not all Ethereum. There was 666.55 Ethereum stolen. 1,980 1.98 million USDT, 242,000 USDC, 1.4 million ARB, 9 billion Shiba, 24,000 Uni, 4,300 Link, 110,000 Ape, 22,000 Dai, 120,000 Resheet, 900,000 GRT, 110,000 WLD, 240,000 OM, 69 million Turbo, 380,000 BGB, 10 million REZ, 2 million ENA, and other tokens for a total of $14.633 million. Also, Polygon was stolen for a total of $2.58 million, and Optimism was stolen for a total of $894,000. This is another lesson why you should not keep your money on exchanges, because stuff like this can happen. Now, I don't really know if Indodax has insurance. I think Coinbase does, and if they actually if your coins are actually stolen and they have money in their reserves, they will reimburse you. But another reason not to keep your money in the exchanges, they did actually shut down the exchange for a little while, but we don't really know what actually was hacked. It was either the hot wallet that's actually been compromised or the withdrawal system. I think they think it's the withdrawal system, but for the people that lost money, really doesn't matter which one was actually hacked. The stolen funds were withdrawn from the Indodax exchange hot wallet by the hacker using a whole number, 1 Bitcoin or 3 Bitcoin, and the remaining Bitcoin in this transaction was withdrawn to some addresses as a change. According to cybersecurity platform Cybers, the address associated with the bad actor is swapping the stolen tokens to Ethereum. They will probably use Tornado Cash or another mixer to actually hide the tokens before trying to cash them out, and it's very hard to catch. Our system has detected multiple suspicious transactions involving Indodax wallets on different networks. Suspicious address already holds 14.4 million USD and is swapping the tokens to Ether. So they're going to swap multiple times, use some mixers. And it could actually be the Korean Lazarus group. It could be something else. Remember, the FBI a while ago warned exchanges and big institutions that the North Koreans were actually preparing to do a big strike on crypto. They could actually be striking right now. This wasn't an American, but they can strike any country they want. I mean, the FBI has warned BlackRock and Coinbase and several others, so they're probably beefing up security, but obviously Indodax had a security exploit and they took advantage of it. Now, I don't know if these were North Korean hackers, but I think there is a decent chance that, it was them, because a lot of the exploits and hacks around the world are attributed to Lazarus and other North Korean groups. So that's the big exchange that got hacked. $22 million drained from reserves. Hopefully you were not affected by the drain. Pyth might actually be challenging Chainlink. Now, Pyth is the second biggest, the third biggest Oracle online. Chainlink has 46% of the market. WinkLink has 16% of the market, and Pyth has 10.84% of the market. I do believe their percentage of the market will increase, because now not just Solana is in their corner, TON is also in their corner. And TON is coming up with a lot of GameFi, a lot of DeFi, and I think it's going to use Pyth as its primary oracle. They did announce a partnership about a month ago. So although Chainlink is still dominant, it's not 50% anymore. It's only 46%. And throughout this year, PYTH has grown significantly, increasing its total value secured TVS by a factor of 46 in 9 months, from 94 million to 4.7 billion. Despite PYTH's exponential growth, Chainlink retains its position as the top Oracle provider as of September, securing 20.1 billion of assets. So Chainlink is still about 5 times bigger than PYTH, but PYTH is definitely making some inroads into the market. Chainlink secures 20.1 billion across 404 chains and a 46.46% market share. However, when considering the Oracle market leader's position earlier this year, a slight decline can be seen from its 48.64 on January 1st. So it lost about 2 percentage points in terms of the market. That's inevitable as more Oracles come onto the market, but they're not as dominant as they were before. They hold less than 50% of the market now. The combination of PYTH's growth, Chainlink's decreased market share, and the entry of new Oracle providers is seeing Chainlink's once uncontested leadership slowly wearing away. But Chainlink does have a big first mover advantage. Their price really hasn't gone up that much, and I do think these uprisers will take more of Chainlink's market share. I don't think they're going to necessarily usurp Chainlink, but they don't have to usurp Chainlink to actually for you to make a lot of money off of these. If I were to invest in an Oracle, I probably would pick PYTH over Chainlink at this point because of its greater potential, and also like them signing a deal with TON is really, really big for them. So in a Q&A with Cointelegraph, Michael Cahill, co-founder and CEO of Doro Labs, core contributor to the PYTH network, said that PYTH leads all Oracles, including Chainlink, by total trading volume facilitated as an Oracle. That might actually be true because it is the main Oracle for Solana, and since Solana is like fast and the fees are very, very low, they do actually have more volume than Ethereum, which is, I think, Chainlink's primary kind of like a blockchain that they do. So that might actually be true. Chainlink is still number 1 in total assets secured, and it's number 1 by a long shot at this point. But PYTH is slowly rising up, and it could actually be something to actually diversify into if you're looking to get into the Oracle market. So there are bullish macroeconomics for crypto. And what I mean is, yes, today's CPI report was actually decently good. It's kind of a mixed bag. So overall CPI is down, which is good, but core CPI is actually up a little bit. So core CPI, which is the CPI minus food and energy, was 3.2. The overall CPI is 2.5. The lingering thing that's making CPI stay kind of like stubborn and consistent is housing, which actually did go up by 0.5% month over month. And that's going to be really hard to bring down. Gas actually fell and food basically stayed even, more or less. But but housing is definitely making CPI a bit more frustrating to actually come down. And it's very, very hard to bring housing down unless government does a lot of government subsidized or government housing, cheap housing for the government. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit messy right now, definitely. But I think the core CPI being only 3.2 and the overall CPI being 2.5 is a little bit better than what was expected. That plus the overall like weak labor market ensures us a rate cut. I think some people are going to be upset because it's not a jumbo cut, but it's a regular cut. But I do think the market actually reacted fairly positively. Like crypto actually did go down a little bit, obviously. After the debate, because essentially Trump lost the debate and Trump is seen as the more pro-crypto candidate, but it easily bounced back after the CPI report of today because they do realize they're getting a rate cut next week. It might not be the one they want, but they will actually get a bit of a boost. And more importantly, the bond rates have started falling on both the 2-year and the 10-year. The 10-year bond rate has fallen from about 4.4 earlier this year to about 3.6 right now, and that's a pretty big drop. And you're getting to the point where maybe that long-term bond isn't as lucrative as it once looked. Like a 0.8% difference in like a 10-year bond can actually make a pretty big difference in your investment. And I think the 2-year bond is starting to come down as well. So as that comes down, that's going to free up more money from the bond market to go into the crypto market. And obviously that's very good for us crypto investors. So that's the main thing I'm actually looking at right now. I think inflation will eventually come down. I do think it will reach the 2% point, but we're still a bit of ways away from that. But as it comes down, I think like regardless of like how they cut rates, everyone knows they're going to cut them, and those bond rates will continue to come down, especially the 10-year one. It'll probably go from like 3.4 to like 3.0 to 2.5. And then some of that money, which is like billions upon billions of dollars will actually come into crypto. And even if it's a fraction of that money, that should actually be enough to basically get crypto basically a leg up, and that should actually get us past our all-time high. So we're definitely bracing in for a pretty big bull run as rates come down. Remember, according to the 4-year cycle, we're just not there yet, but we will be there very, very soon. I think at the end of this year, beginning of next year, we'll definitely rev up. So right now, if you're trying to accumulate crypto, right now is a great time to accumulate. The UK is going to give crypto owners legal property rights, and that's a big step. The US hasn't quite done that yet. And the UK Ministry of Justice is sponsoring the bill, which means it's probably going to get passed. So the UK's Ministry of Justice is sponsoring a bill that would grant codified personal property rights to holders of digital assets. The Digital Property Acts bill was introduced today before the UK's House of Lords. It seeks to apply personal property rights for the first time in British history to digital holdings like cryptocurrencies, non-fungible tokens, and carbon credits. By establishing property rights for holders of digital assets, the UK hopes to give legal protection to owners and companies against fraud and scams, while helping judges deal with complex cases where digital holdings are disputed or form part of settlements. Concerns from the UK Law Commission that digital assets could meet the criteria for both existing types of personal property in the UK, thereby impeding court disputes, reportedly prompted the creation of new digital personal property category. So there's obviously been a lot of disputes on what to do with digital assets. Are they property? Are they not? What are they classified as? So the UK is finally wanting to clear this up. The justice system and the courts probably don't want all these lawsuits in, so they're definitely trying to clean it up. So although this bill speaks more so to the UK's nuanced legal system than its bullishness on crypto, it is still good for crypto. So should this trend accelerate in the coming decades alongside greater digital asset adoption, the UK will be well positioned to arbitrate disputes involving novel property type. So obviously this was on X. The Ministry of Justice said the UK has passed a new bill that will allow crypto and other digital assets to be recognized as personal property. That means owners of digital assets will gain legal protection against fraud and scams. So not exactly sure what it means by gaining protection against fraud and scams. Will that actually mean that you get reimbursed if you fall for a fraud or a scam? I'm not really sure. I don't think they can cover personal losses, but this is a good step for the UK in recognizing what digital assets are. Hopefully the US can actually follow suit, but it will probably take a while for the US to follow suit if they ever follow suit. So Trump-based coins and his media company have massively fallen in value after the debate. I think the MAGA coin fell 20-something%. It gave up all its gains for the last month. Obviously, this was traditional buy the rumor, sell the news, and especially selling the news because Trump lost the debate pretty badly. Basically, if you look at this candle posted on Twitter, you see this massive candle, basically when he lost the debate. It's down 12.7 for the day, but I think overall it was down something like 20%. So MAGA coin not doing well. So this is the fate of polyfi coins, especially if your candidate doesn't do well. I mean, it was probably buy the rumor, sell the news. If Trump had won the debate, according to the pundits, I do think this would have gone up temporarily before crashing back down. But I don't really know if there's any help for this coin until the election time. Maybe if he wins the election. Obviously, other things actually happen too. They got Trump went up by Trump was up +5 on Polymarket. Now +3, -3, he's even with Harris. I think I just checked right now and he's up by 1% again. So essentially the debate did actually have an effect. It had a really bad effect on the Trump meme coins. They actually went down. The Donald Trump theme Trump coin slides 80% from all-time peak, and MAGA is actually way down as well. MAGA shredded the remaining part of its monthly gains by slumping from $3.42 to $2.92 in about an hour. Trump's publicly tracked crypto wallet slimmed by about $272K. But aside from that, on his personal note, his own company actually fell to an all-time low in market cap. So Donald Trump's social media stock closes at a record low after his rocky debate performance. So obviously, Trump media, people were investing in that, and that depends heavily, like his companies depend heavily on whether he's the president or not, because they probably won't get that much funding if he's president. That's why I think like Liberty Financial, or whatever he calls his company, isn't really going to get too much funding if he does not win the election. And this is why he needs to badly win the election. So Wall Street sure is acting like Donald Trump lost the debate Tuesday night. Investors swiftly penalized Trump's social media business following the former president's widely panned debate performance. Other so-called Trump trades, including Bitcoin and Coinbase, went into reverse Wednesday, while bonds and Asian currencies rallied, and some of the funds that own solar and other clean energy stocks rose sharply. Shares of Trump Media and Technology Group plunged 17% Wednesday to the lowest level since the Truth Social owner went public in late March, before ending the day at a record low, down 10%. So obviously they got hit pretty hard. This is a reaction to the ABC presidential debate, and he did very poorly in that debate because he took all the baits from Harris. And of course, it was basically the opposite of what happened after Trump debated Joe Biden. So you can see they do actually change upon these events. So like the perception in the market is she won the debate. Matthew Tuttle, CEO of Tuttle Capital Management, told CNN on Wednesday, pointing to shifts in Harris's favor on the betting market on poly markets. Predicted it too, but like I think most of the crypto world follows poly market. So I think if he loses, he has to sell He has to sell, and DJT goes to $1. If he wins, he doesn't sell, and DJT can make a run for it. So essentially, DJT is not the meme coin I'm talking about. DJT is his company symbol. So yes, there is a lockup restriction that prevents Trump from selling his 111.75 million shares on Trump Media, and are set to expire this month. So I think like whether or not Trump sells his shares will give an indication of whether he thinks he's going to win the election or not. In truth, not just what he says in public, because he's always going to say, I won in public. But overall, it's going to tell him like if he thinks he's actually going to win, because obviously his media company is going to go up in price if he wins and down in price if he loses. So whether he sells the shares or not is a clear indication of what he thinks is going to happen in the election. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.